Hello and welcome to UPFRONT, episode 1 for the NBL 2019 season. I'm Corey Williams, as you know, the loudest mouth in Australian basketball. And this is Tommy Hirsch, and we're back. What's going on, TH?
Good to be back for another season.
Man, good to see you, man. Good to see you. You know, round 1, I was not able to work, but I saw everything unfold in round 1. A lot of surprises, a lot of the usual suspects doing what they do. But round 2, there's a lot to talk about, so let's just jump into it. What you want to talk about first?
Well, first I want to give a shout out, and the reason why I'm wearing this t-shirt, I want to give a shout out to Brendan Tees. His 150th game, he's a forgotten man of the NBL, not an offensive threat, and he just comes out and just starts firing. The man goes 4 for 4 from downtown and basically blows the game open for his team. Like, shout out to Brendan Tees.
That's definitely.
But the other guy on that team who's the real irrational confidence guy, your man, Idris DeLeon.
Too hard to guard.
To me,
okay.
Idris DeLeon.
First of all, a lot of people who don't know Idris, he's been playing pro for 9 years. He was on the Dominican national team. And he's just a tough player. He comes from Dykeman, uptown, kind of like the same area Edgar Sosa came from. And his street ball pedigree is second to none. In New York City, he's known for stepping up for the biggest challenges. One game, I played against him and I played with him. I played against him, and in that game, he had 50. No bullshit. 50. Not on me, but on my team. You know, there was times in the game we matched up and he scored on me. He's a legitimate baller. On top of it, I played with him. We played against the Drew League. They came to Dykeman in Manhattan, and he scored 48 on Brandon Jennings. That was all on the internet. You can look that up. And we're not talking about Brandon Jennings today. We're talking about Milwaukee Bucks back then, Brandon Jennings. So that was an incredible matchup, and he had Dykeman going. So one thing he does do well is rise up to the occasions when he's an underdog.
Right. So he is the ultimate irrational confidence guy. He goes 6 for 7 in that game from downtown against Sydney, and comes out on Sunday against Melbourne, 6 points.
6 points. You know, I actually thought that he was going to be able to bounce back and back that game up against Jerome Randall, against Casper Witt. One thing he has to be able to do is back it up, because this league, every night, there's no night offs.
No.
This is almost like in the Western Conference when it comes to point guards. You don't have a night off. I don't care if your team is in first or last. You better show up, or you're going to get your ass handed to you.
Yeah, so we'll be interested to see how he plays. There's been a lot of talk pre-season whether Joey made the right move or not. I mean, we've seen some really good things out of him, but right. Obviously that consistency is going to be a big part of how Adelaide rolls this year.
Yeah, definitely, because, you know, obviously Nathan Sobey's a stud.
Mm-hmm.
He's shown up all year. I think he has to have the biggest leadership role right now. I think this is the biggest challenge for him, and I think he's welcomed the challenge.
Absolutely.
And he's doing his thing. Mm-hmm. Even from the game in Utah, we saw him play that preseason game. He balled out, and it's carried over. He knows, you know, the last 2 years, you know, Jerome Randall was there. You know, that was the leader of the team. He had the Robin role, the Batman and Robin role.
Mm-hmm.
Last season, you had Josh Childress.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you had Shannon Shorter, the most hated man in the NBL. Shout out to Shannon Shorter. They're no longer here. And he knows Mitch Creek. Shout out to Mitch Creek, my man. They're no longer there. He's there. Yeah. He's the leader of that team, and he has to lead from the front. And I believe he's done an incredible job so far.
Absolutely.
Let's hope that, and I have no doubt that he's going to continue it throughout the season.
Not easy to transition from a shooting guard to a full-time point guard, and he's just playing great. He's scoring, he's dishing, he's getting his teammates involved, he's taking on defensive challenges. Really, really big step for Sobey this year.
All right, since we're talking about, you know, guys doing anything, let's continue that. Melo Trimble. 32 points he had in his first game. When I say destroyed, this is a rookie, fresh out of college. Destroyed, which is not really hard, the Brisbane Bullets. We'll get to you guys in a minute. And got the win on the road. They come home next round 2, and they lose by 11 to Illawarra.
Yeah.
But he had 28. The kid is averaging 30 points a game, 4 assists, shooting 53% from the 3 and 58%, I think, from the 2. Like, that's incredible.
Yeah, really impressive. I mean, we weren't expecting this. he came in with a bit of a reputation as an assist man, as a setup guy, and he got the guys like DJ Newbill and Devon Hall, who has not yet really put it all together for Cairns. We thought Trimble would be a facilitator, but he's just blown it out. I mean, he's leading the league in scoring, as you said, by a long way. Next best is like 21.5 points. He's on 30. So really great start for him. Hopefully that can translate and get the other guys in his team involved as well, and they can do something maybe unexpected this year, the Taipans.
And you know what? Hopefully he can. You know what I mean? I mean, if he continues to play like that, there's no telling what's going to happen. So the next guy I want to talk about, the team that the Cairns Taipans lost to, Todd Blanchfield. Now, here's my thing with Todd Blanchfield. You know, I was on Bill and Baz the other day, and I talked about it, and I said, every player isn't built for a big market.
Right.
You know, Todd Blanchfield's success was in Townsville, small market. Left there, went to Melbourne United, struggled. Left there, went to Sydney Kings, was nowhere to be found. Went back now to a small market in Illawarra, and what's happening? He's shining. This is a guy who is a great player and a great talent. It was just a lot about confidence, and he's looking really good so far this season.
Yeah, I mean, then the biggest thing with Blanchfield is how he's used and the freedom that he has in the offense. And you saw in Melbourne, he basically sat in the corner waiting for a kick for a wide open 3 for 2 years. Sydney was kind of similar. But what I love about Blanchfield now, and we saw this right from the get-go in preseason at the Blitz as well, he's putting the ball on the floor, he's going to the rim, he's attacking, and that's opening it up for his outside shot too, which is obviously one of his strengths. But he's got the green light and then some from Bevo, and just making the most of it so far.
And you know what? There aren't too many players that haven't shined under Rob Beveridge's arm. You know what I mean? Like, Rob knows how to get the best out of his players, and he's a player's coach, and guys love to play for Rob Beveridge. I got nothing but respect for Rob Beveridge.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's see if they can turn the corner, because on paper they have a good team. You know, I think that at this stage, AJ Ogilvie is a good player, but I think he does not want to be the focal point. He doesn't want to be the man.
Right.
So I think when you bring in former MVP, a guy like Seth Jackson, who needs to turn the corner and turn the corner quick. You know, you bring a guy in, what's the guy who was Conklin, Brian Conklin. You bring Conklin in, which is another former MVP with the Crocs. Now you have a crew of players that we don't have to just rely on you to make this thing work. You know what I mean? So I think he'll be able to do well with this core. Defensively, they need to get it together. Offensively, they have to just figure out, be more assertive, and find him at the key where he can make a lot of other plays from there. But at least he doesn't have to be the focal point, and I think he may have he'll definitely have a better season than he had last season. Yeah. Hopefully we can see him really doing his thing and with this supporting cast.
Yeah, I mean, that injury really hampered him a lot last year, and unfortunately he's missed a couple games this season. But once he gets over this ankle injury, you saw in round 1 what he can be already. He had a monster game. Monster game. In that 4 overtime battle against Melbourne. Really need big things out of Ogilvie, and that team could surprise.
All right. I know it's early. Let's just look at the top 4 right now. First place, obviously, you have Perth Wildcats, Red Army. Trust me, we will get to you. Second place, Melbourne United. Third place, we have Cairns Taipans. Fourth place, Adelaide.
Right.
Fifth right now, Sydney Kings. We're going to Sydney Kings right now. Let me just finish out the list. Sixth place, Brisbane. Seventh, we have Illawarra, and 8th we have New Zealand.
Right.
Let's jump into the Kings, okay? It's only a matter of time before they get rolling. They just need to believe that they can win, because they haven't won any games up until this last game in New Zealand, and they won in a major way. Nobody believed they could win. I didn't think they were going to go down there and actually win.
Right.
But I knew that it was a very important game to define their season. They were on the brink of, trust me, it's early. We all know this season goes by quick. I don't care if it's round 2. Certain wins you have to get to be mentally strong, to be mentally able to keep your team together. Certain wins have to happen. That was one of them. And for them to get that, on the road in the manner that they did it, it proves to them that, you know what, we can do this shit together. We can do it together. So I know they get this win this weekend at home with Cairns. Watch out for the Sydney Kings. They're not going to continue, just going to keep losing games.
No.
I don't believe, they think they're too good.
Yeah.
They're too good.
And look, I was asked this exact question on shout out to 91.3 Sport FM in Perth the other night. They played Adelaide twice in a row to start the season, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Adelaide is probably the single worst matchup for that team in the league, right? So they were exposed. They come out against New Zealand. Not only do they win convincingly by 23 on the road, over the ditch, over there, showing really what they can be on both ends of the floor. And that's the key, as far as I'm concerned, for this team. It's how much they can improve defensively. We had all these expectations that Bogut was going to come in and fix everything defensively. Kevin Lisch was going to be healthy and lock people down. It takes time, though. It takes time for people to learn their roles. We've seen elements of that. Bogut is doing a great job of being an anchor, controlling the boards, blocking shots. Lisch obviously did a really nice job on Webster on the weekend, but the rest of the guys need to find their roles defensively and they can become a cohesive unit. We all know they can score. They're going to score with everyone, but it's what they can do on the other end of the floor that's really going to dictate. Yeah. But it's early days, and as you said, they're finding their way, and they will figure it out, and they're doing that already.
You know, for me, they're going to make finals. Somebody's not going to make it. All right, the usual suspects, yeah. Somebody's not going to make it. New Zealand, Adelaide, Perth, United. Those are the usual suspects. Somebody not making it out of that. And I know the Sydney Kings are going to make it.
Yeah.
Who do you think's not going to make it?
It's a really tough question. I'd have to say, based on how the season started, and I like them going in, probably New Zealand right now. Because to me, they're just lacking something, and I'm not really sure what it is. Again, they're a team that we know can score. They can put up points in a hurry. But they're not really finding their way on both ends. I'm not sure they've figured out their roles within that team. Who is the alpha on that team? Is it Ty Wesley? Is it Webster? Are the imports going to step up? Can Shaylee really run the team full time? We thought he could, but he hasn't really shown that yet. So there are a lot of question marks over that team. And if I had to pick one right now, it would be the Breakers.
Well, for me, I'm picking Perth. I think the Breakers will make a change. Bring somebody in quick. And I think that Corey Webster needs to get rolling. He needs to step his game up. I only saw him game 1. He's come back. He's a key cog in what they're going to do, especially offensively. Ty Wesley's going to get his. You know, the other imports, Sean Long, I like how he plays. He holds the middle down, and he's aggressive on both ends. You know, the other two shooters, one is a slasher, one is a shooter. Mm-hmm. You know, I forgot his name, to be honest with you.
Rashad and Moore?
Moore.
Yeah.
Moore needs to step his game up a lot more. He's going to be out of here. Mm-hmm. You know, but these guys need to know and understand that, you know, every game you got to come with it. You know, this is a tough league. Mm. A lot of people still sleep on this league until they get here and they're like, oh, yeah, I thought it was going to be sweet. No, it's not. You got to come here ready to play. Every game matters, you know. Like, again, I'm going to move off of them. Let's get back to Perth. I think that with 2 imports, they're not going to make it.
So can we confirm this? Because I'm a bit confused, I got to say, mate. I'm a bit confused.
You've
been saying all preseason they're not going to make the finals. You said this last season when we had our final episode and we started talking about the off-season moves. Perth is not making the finals.
Right.
Fine. But then you tweeted on the weekend, they might make finals, but they're not going to win it.
Let me tell you what happened.
Because I have the tweet right here. I can read it out to you if you want.
Can you read the tweet?
I can read it.
Show it. Okay, right, you came with it. Okay, go ahead.
I see everyone out west are literally crying about me saying they won't make finals. Most found it very funny. Well, how about this? Perth Wildcats won't win the NBL 19 championship. And you got a lot of replies, man. A lot of hatred. I mean, I brought some with me because...
you got a whole lot. You got a lot of paper, man.
Hilarious.
Homer Simpson.
Homer Simpson in there, backtracking. Great gif. But I mean, really, where do you stand on this?
Here do I go. Here's how it goes. I said they won't make playoffs because the league is far too good to just go in with just 2 imports. They did that last year, and what happened? What happened? They got swept. People say, Corey, what are you talking about? They had 3 imports. Really? What did Derek Cook Jr. do last year in the playoffs? Not a damn thing. They had 2 imports. They wasn't even playing him down the stretch because he was worthless. Let's be honest. Call a spade a spade. He didn't do shit in the playoffs. Then on top of it, they figured out toe-to-toe. Give him the mid-range shot. He was missing all of that, which means really what they had. One import. Mm-hmm. Sweet. I said they were going to get swept. What did everybody say? Sounded like this. And what happened? Get the broom out, crickets. That's what happened. So when I said in the offseason, because I figured Bryce Cotton was not coming back. So I said they're not making finals. I said that in the offseason. They signed Cotton. Great move. Cotton is a stud. Again, there's no hate on Cotton. I seen Cotton now play against the Nuggets and had 33, and every bucket was legit. Take my hat off to you. You the real deal. Ever since then, I just needed to see it against elite competition. I saw it. You never hear me say nothing bad about Cotton again. That's all I ever said. Let me see it. I saw it. Next, they got this other guy, Tariq White. He didn't start off too well in preseason. But you know what? He showed up in regular season because that's when it really matters. Mm-hmm. But I don't believe that's going to be enough for them. I think New Zealand's going to wake up, and based off of the fact that this league is no cupcake league, I don't believe you're just going to waltz into the playoffs. And Sydney's going to wake up. And I thought New Zealand would have started off better, but I still believe New Zealand's going to get in. And I don't think Perth is going to get in. So what, they 3-0. They had one good win. Other two teams they were supposed to be. Why is everybody excited when with a team with such rich tradition is just 3-0? Why is everybody excited? You're acting like it's Brisbane. Be excited then if Brisbane is 3-0. You do this all the time. Why is everybody excited? I don't understand. So then I said they wouldn't make playoffs. Everybody's so hyped they beat Brisbane. I did pick Brisbane to win that game because I figured they're going to bounce back from that horrible home loss and play the way they played in New Zealand. I believe that. And guess what? They got their asses kicked. So Brisbane will be bottom of the ladder. They will finish with the wooden spoon. I don't know what the hell is going on down there. This weekend, they're going to get smacked around again. 2 games. They're going to be 1-5. Then we're going to talk about Lamanis. Will he keep his job or not? But anyway, back to Perth. Everybody's talking trash, because their team is 3-0. Oh, we're not going to make playoffs. Let's ante it up. You won't win a championship. What are we here for? You here to just make playoffs again? Everybody shut up and then start throwing the hate tweets. They don't bother me. They don't at all. But if you want, we're going to make playoffs, what you got to say now? I got to say you won't make a championship. Now, what are you playing for? What are you playing for? Exactly.
Fair enough. I can't argue with that. I mean, this was entertaining.
It sure was.
That's the point of this. This made me laugh. Especially the end where some guy used caps because you know you love your caps on Twitter. That was a great response, but it was good. But you did angle one man, though. One man, Tim Gossage.
Who is this guy?
Long-time sports reporter. Probably a good friend of Lucky
Can you say it again? Who is this?
Long-time sports reporter for Channel 10 in Perth.
Okay, what did he say?
Right? He said, who pays C Homicide? If it's the NBL, they should be having a chat. His Perth Wildcats bashing is predictable, unsubstantiated, not funny. He tipped Brisbane to beat the Cats in Perth, and they were embarrassed again. What's his beef with the Cats organisation?
Okay, there's no beef with the Cats organisation. Why can I not like a team that everybody likes? It's my opinion. There's no beef. I don't think they're that good. I said they're getting swept. Everybody's saying that type of stuff. What happened? What happened?
They got swept.
Thank you very much. Okay, so what I think about the team is they're overrated. That's what I believe. And I believe that with the audacity of coming in this league that is so tough with 2 imports, you're saying like, guess what? Our shit don't stink. We're going to walk to the playoffs and we're going to get to the finals again. That's what they're saying. I don't respect that. And I don't believe that's going to happen. There's no personal issue. I don't believe they're that good.
But
and that's it.
There's a difference between thinking they don't have enough to win, which is fine, and then picking Brisbane to beat them over there.
I just simply told, did Brisbane win last season over there? Yes. Did Cairns win last season over there at the end of the season?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying, though it sounds loud and brash, there's facts behind this. You can't just... People are not scared of Perth Wildcats anymore. I remember back in the day at Challenge Stadium, people were just like, yo, that is a loss. They're really physical. That is an L you're going to take. It's not like that anymore.
It was 2 seasons ago. It wasn't last year. I'll take your point. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Does any of this stem back to your playing days?
Not at all.
Not at all?
Not at all.
Hand on heart?
Hand on heart.
Right.
Not at all.
All right.
I don't have any beef with the Wildcats.
One last
It's
tweet.
nothing personal.
One last tweet.
Go ahead.
From Rick Steve Thomas, at Rick Steve.
Who's this guy?
I have no idea who he is.
Okay, go ahead.
Perth tried to sign C. Homicide and couldn't get it done. Scott Fisher confirmed this. Get your facts straight.
Thank you very much.
Is this true?
Oh my God, we got to do this again? Do we have to do this again? Scott Fisher came and confirmed at one point we did try to sign Homicide.
All right.
I went. Here's how I got to Australia. Scott Fisher was reaching out to me for 2 years in a row. I was in the minor leagues chasing to getting back into the NBA. So what happened was I didn't want to come to Australia. Then the opportunity came. Scott Fisher reached out. Perth Wildcats. They had Rashard Phillips at the time. Mm-hmm. And he said, look, you know, this guy doesn't really fit our style of play. It's not going to work. We want you. I said, well, I was interested. I said, okay, you know, I'll come down. He said, look, all we got to do is let me talk to the board, but they'll say yes. We're going to fire him basically and bring you in. Cool. The following day, Trevor Gleason hits my agent up. It was the same amount of money. And I'm like, well, why would I wait for a team to fire a player and I have another team ready to bring me in 2 days? Same amount of money. Oh, well, I guess I'll go to Townsville. Best decision I ever made in my life. I wouldn't be here because technically I don't fit Perth Wildcat style of play. So it wouldn't have worked out. Mm-hmm. And that's what happened. We had this discussion last year on air. Come on, man. I could have went to Perth. I turned that down.
All right. Good. All right, enough about Perth. Let's move on.
Okay, move on. Next round.
Next round.
Let's talk about next round.
All right.
What are your predictions for next round? Okay, game 1, okay, tomorrow. Brisbane versus Perth in Brisbane.
Brisbane really needs to show something here. At home, they've not looked good, aside from Cam Glidden, and they need to find ways for other people to get involved. And Jason Kadee, I'm talking to you. You need to step up. I'm talking to Alonzo G. He needs to step up. He looked horrendous last weekend.
Listen, that whole team looked horrendous. Stephen Holt had 3 points in the last 2 games. He's averaging 3 points over the last 2 games. What are we doing here?
It's a good question.
I don't even know how Stephen Holt is back, to be honest with you. He must have a 2-year deal or Lamanis is his agent. I'm going to keep it 1,000. Let's call a spade a spade. Step your game up, homie. You looking crazy out here. Where's the Stephen Holt from Melbourne United? Where's that guy? Because I don't know who this guy is. And they're going to need him to score. Mm-hmm. Now, Jason Kadee, you know, hopefully he can be more consistent because they're going to need him from the outside. He's on the court. That's a big marquee signing for Brisbane Bullets. He needs to step his game up on a consistent basis and lead this team. Cam Glidden. I don't think he realizes the position and the role that he is in for this team. He is the Kurt Penny of that team. Meaning he's not Kurt Penny, but that's the role he needs to know that he's the man. Mm-hmm. 20 shots a game if you got to. Make a miss. That's your role. Yeah. You need to be more aggressive. You need to step up and lead from the front. All that passive shit, get it out of here. Shoot the ball, my man. That's why you're there. Anytime you average, what's the stat? Anytime you hit 20 plus, last year with Cairns, it was a W pretty much. Yeah. That's the aggressive scoring mindset you need to be in every game.
Yeah. And these guys know each other. I mean, a lot of them played on the Boomers under Lamanis with each other. But I think they just need to figure out, you're absolutely right, define their roles and really, Glidden needs to be the man. He's showed that in the opening round when he goes nuts, how good this team can be. When he's aggressive, he was doing it in preseason, he carried that over, but he needs to embrace that.
That's exactly what he needs to do.
He needs to also be more aggressive.
They
offensively. He's been very focused on facilitating, but he's a legit scorer. I mean, he's a 20-point-a-game potential scorer in this league too. Yeah. And they need that out of him.
They do. G, I don't even know what G's doing. Those import selections are all suspect. I ain't even talking. Perth wins by like 20 or something. Cairns, Adelaide.
This is an interesting one, but I think I still prefer Adelaide, just the way they're playing and the depth they have. Kansas depth, I have real question marks over. Their imports, I think, are great. I think Devon Hall is going to turn a corner at some point and step up and show how good he really can be. It may come down to whether they can slow down Melo Trimble, and at the moment that's proving difficult, obviously. But with Sobey on him, that's an interesting matchup to watch. You got DJ Newbill trying to make an impact there as well with Ramon Moore and Drimmick. But I think Adelaide's probably just got too much depth and scoring power for Cairns.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Adelaide for the win. Perth, Melbourne, my game of the round. What you think? In Perth.
In Perth. Tough place to be. Melbourne has done it there, though, recently. I feel like Melbourne's going to get this one.
I believe so,
I feel like
too.
They're clicking, they're finding their roles. DJ Kennedy's getting a bit more involved. Casper Ware's got to step up. He's due. He's really due.
You know, I said a whole lot of things about that team, Casper last season, Golden. I bagged the whole team. He's due. I'm not even going to get on Casper. He's not even on my radar to get at because the first 3 games he hasn't done anything. But I think that he knows that he hasn't done anything. And he knows if he does not do anything this weekend, he's going to get his ass torched because you know who is in front of him, Bryce Cotton. So I still believe somehow United will win that game. Illawarra, Brisbane. Let's just skip over that. Brisbane is losing. Let's just skip over that. Now we got New Zealand, Adelaide. Who you got?
I think New Zealand's got to bounce back in this one. I think Corey Webster's going to step up. He's going to have a big game. Another guy who's probably due. Adelaide, that's a tough double for them to fly over there. And they've had a tough schedule. I mean, they've got doubles every round for the first 4 rounds of the season. That's going to take a load, especially after their preseason travel. I like the Breakers in that one.
I like the Breakers too. Corey Webster's due. Sydney Cairns in Sydney.
Sydney.
I got Sydney too. I think this is going to be a defining moment in this young season. Can they go back-to-back and get a W? Mm-hmm. Last game of the round, Melbourne United versus Illawarra in Melbourne.
Monday night. How do we feel about Monday night basketball?
Look, listen, as long as I can talk about the game that I love, I'm good to go, baby.
Nice. I think Melbourne at home, I mean, again, they're in great form. They got it done up there. It took them 4 overtimes, but they got it done up there. But again, I think they have too much depth, too much firepower. Guys like Dave Barlow stepping up this year, playing incredible. They got so many weapons. Mitch McCarron added to that roster. They're too much to handle.
Yeah, I agree. I got Melbourne to win that game. All I want to tell you is I'm glad we are back. I'm glad you are back. And this is Up Front. I'm Corey. This is TH. Join us every week as we bring it to you. All things hoops in Australia.